Up first, a one-of-a-kind showman, a human highlight reel who has accumulated a staggering 15 performance bonuses in 15 UFC fights. Please welcome to the stage the interim UFC lightweight champion and future Hall of Famer, Justin the Highlight Gaethje. And finally, the Hunted, a man who ravaged through the greatest featherweights and lightweights in the world to earn gold in both divisions. He doesn't just finish people, he destroys them. Poised for another legendary moment on the biggest stage, please welcome the UFC lightweight champion, El Matador, Ilia Topuria.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming out today. Before we get this thing started, I wanted to announce that Crypto.com just put up $1 million for UFC White House fight bonuses. So the guys that are involved in the fight of the night at the White House will split $600,000. Congratulations, boys. Who's got the first question?
Let's start with the champion, Ilia Topuria, in the front right here, other side, right here, right here. Obviously, a lot of people were vying for this spot, being side A of this historic card. I guess, what does it say about you that the UFC is trusting you for such a marquee event in an historic moment?
Mira, una oportunidad tremenda, una cartelera histórica. ¿Qué dice de ti que el UFC te puso básicamente como estelar para esto?
Honestly, I don't know what it says about me. I'm just so grateful with the UFC and with Dana, with everyone that was involved in this event that gave me this huge opportunity. And the only thing I can say is thank you, and I really appreciate it.
And standing opposite you is Justin Gaethje, obviously one of the most, maybe the most exciting fighter that has ever stepped into the UFC octagon. What are you expecting from Justin, and how can you possibly prepare for someone where a lot of their opponents just don't look the same after fighting Justin?
Listen, one thing I know for a fact is that he never fought with someone like me. And the only thing that I want from Justin is to him to show up in the event, and I'm going to do the rest. You know what I mean?
Question for Justin, right here. Obviously, everyone wanted this main event spot. You're the American in this historic card at the White House. You essentially manifested this. In January, you said beat Patty, unify against Ilia. You got what you wanted. I guess, what are the emotions now before this historic event?
Yeah, it is an absolute dream come true. From where I come from, we all come from somewhere, but I come from the middle of nowhere, and to represent this country on this level at this moment in my career is something that I could have never dreamt of. My first fight ever was outside, and one of my last fights will be outside. So it's a crazy life. I'm gonna be so ready. I'm so ready to put it on the line. I don't give a fuck if he beats me, doesn't beat me, doesn't matter. I'm coming in there and I'm gonna try to knock this motherfucker out. I will be throwing missiles on the White House lawn on June 14th. I promise you that.
And, you know, a lot of people say this run that Ilia's on might be the best 3 wins we've ever seen in the UFC. You fought all of the great lightweights of the world. How does Ilia stack up compared to your past opponents?
Yeah, I think he's my second toughest test ever, next to Khabib. But yeah, those three knockouts, Volkanovski, Holloway, Oliveira, yeah, legendary. So it's just gonna make this win that much more spectacular.
Question for Cyril Gahn. Right here.
Wow.
I have to ask, we haven't really seen you, we haven't seen or heard from you since that fight in Abu Dhabi. How's life, and I guess what do you make of this reception here in Newark before this event in the White House?
We haven't heard or seen from you since the fight in Abu Dhabi. So what is it to be around here?
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Like, I just keep training since October because we thought we were gonna have a revenge earlier with Thomas Pinal. Unfortunately, it was not free, not LC free. But yeah, we keep training, and now to be here, I'm so happy to be part of this event, and I'm so proud, really proud.
You fought big heavy hitters like Francis and Derek and tall guys like Volkov. You faced off with Alex, who's coming up from light heavyweight. Did he feel and look like a heavyweight when you stood opposite him?
Yeah, he looked really like an heavyweight, and he's not a surprise because that's really interesting what I say, guys. Listen, I know everybody understand. Now I can talk, please. So I say, we did already a face-off there 2 or 3 years ago. He came to France, in Paris, in RS. It was a pleasure to have him. And I knew already it's going to be big. He was already big. And the real question is how he did to make the weight for the middleweight. This is the real question.
Question for Poatan, right here. You're obviously shooting for a history, getting your 3rd belt in a 3rd weight class. A lot of people think if you win this belt, you could be maybe the greatest fighter that has ever fought in the UFC. Is that something that weighs on your mind, or is it just business as usual at the White House?
E você está lutando pela história na Casa Branca por um 3º cinturão, e muita gente diz que se você ganhar esse cinturão, você vai ser considerado o melhor lutador da história. Pressão, pensa nisso, está na tua cabeça a ideia de ser considerado o melhor lutador da história ou basicamente é só mais um dia de trabalho?
Chama! Bom, eu venho fazendo meu trabalho, né? Eu recebo essas oportunidades porque eu venho fazendo grandes lutas, isso me deixa muito motivado. Bom, um 3º cinturão, todo mundo sabe da grandeza que é esse feito. Todo mundo sabe da minha história. Eu tenho certeza que muitas pessoas vão estar me vendo. Tem uma história bonita para motivar pessoas. Isso é que me inspira.
For sure, but the work has been shown. I've been putting on the work, and the reason because I'm here is because of the work that I've been putting in and the effort that I've put in as a reward for everything that I've done. And now an opportunity to turn that into a 3rd belt, that is historic. That's something that inspires people because I come from a life of challenges, of difficulties. I have a very beautiful story to show, and for someone like me to accomplish that and to make history, it will inspire people as well.
And Cyril obviously presents a lot of problems for heavyweights, but when you break his skill set down, where does he actually shine in there?
O Cyril sempre foi cara que deu problema para vários tipos de peso pesado. Quando você olha de maneira técnica, que problema que você vê no Cyril?
Não, acho que todo atleta, todo adversário é um problema. São pessoas treinadas ali, querendo sair com a vitória. Né? Pô, eu agora indo para a categoria de cima, né? Claro que é um outro desafio, mas eu estou preparado para isso. Como ele falou, não sei como que ele fazia o peso médio, né? O cara desse tamanho. Então dá para ver que eu sou um peso pesado.
Every athlete poses a challenge, and he's no different to that. I mean, we're talking about a professional athlete. You just have to think about it. I'm ready for that challenge, and that's what happens. As he said, when he met me before, he thought he didn't know how I made middleweight. I was always prepared for heavyweight. I've been an athlete, ready to go, and I'm prepared for this.
And I have to ask you about that gentleman at the end of the table. He called you out after his last fight. Apparently there's a report that he was sizing you up. What do you make of Josh Hoki's persona, and do you see that as a fight down the road?
E tem que perguntar sobre o cavalheiro que está no final ali da mesa, que falou o teu nome, mencionou o teu nome, depois da última luta dele, o Josh Hoki que está aqui. O que você achou do fato que ele mencionou você?
Bom, não sei, eu estou focado na minha luta, né? Não tenho por que falar dessa luta agora.
I don't know. I'm focused on my fight. There's no reason for me to be talking about his fight now.
Well, last question for you, Dana. We saw this belt unveiled by President Trump. Is that the belt that will be wrapped around the winners of the main and co-main?
Yes, that's the belt.
Will President Trump be wrapping the belt around the winners?
That I don't know yet. I don't know.
Question for Michael Chandler. Michael, outside of the title fights here, you are the biggest underdog on this card. Do you feel Mauricio has done enough to kind of earn that respect from the odds makers, and do you feel disrespected at all by those odds?
No, I never feel disrespected at all. In this sport, you just got to focus on the task at hand. I don't care what the odds say. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do my job on America's birthday, being an American on this historic card. I respect Mauricio. I respect what he has done. I respect who he has fought. I respect the wins that he has. I respect the highlights. But I do believe there are warriors in this sport and there are fighters in this sport. I'm a different kind of warrior. And whenever the fight gets tough, I plan on taking him to deep waters and drowning him.
And for Mauricio, I know you announced this morning that you've kind of officially split with the Fighting Nerds. Can you tell us, I guess, what is your situation going forward in preparing for this fight? And what are your thoughts on Michael Chandler here as an opportunity?
Ruf, você anunciou basicamente hoje que você teve rompimento com o Fighting Nerds. Então você poderia falar pra gente quais que são os próximos passos, em que ponto que você está na tua carreira e também do Michael Chandler como oponente na tua próxima luta?
Estou numa nova fase da minha vida, continuo com o apoio de todos os Fight Nerd, mas montei a minha equipe para focar ainda mais na minha performance, no meu plano. Mas para mim é um prazer estar lutando aqui, lutando na Casa Branca, estou muito feliz com essa oportunidade. Eu acredito muito que dando um show vou ter uma oportunidade pelo título, então não é sobre vencer, é sobre dar um show para a galera, que é isso que vocês merecem.
It's a new phase of my life. I always have a friendship and a love for all the Fighting Nerds, but now is a time to train differently and to do different things. And I'm very happy and very proud to be in this event against Michael Chandler in the White House, because I think that it's not just about winning, it's about how you win. And if I win the way I want to win, I will have a shot at the title and give you all the show that you deserve.
And for Amin Zahabi, Amin, you got a little bit of a frosty reception coming in here as well. You fought many times in Canada where you're kind of the hero. Are you preparing yourself for not just today, but all throughout fight week to kind of get this similar reception and be the bad guy?
Yeah, of course. I expect a lot of boos out to watch out in DC. But what I gotta say is, it's good for you guys to cheer him on, but at the end of the day, he's gonna be locked in the cage with me, and it's gonna be mano a mano, and none of you guys can save him in the octagon.
For Derek Lewis, Derek, when this card was first announced, a lot of people wondered why you weren't on it, because we were led to believe you were Trump's favorite fighter, and then Josh tells us after his win that he was told he's now the favorite fighter. So what do you just make of that, and are you kind of fighting to get that status back here?
I don't give a damn about none of that. I'm just happy to be fighting.
Yeah. And for Dana and the headliners here, Dana, I believe you said yesterday that Arman Sarukian will be the backup for this fight. Can you confirm that? And then from Justin and Ilya, just your thoughts on that and potentially having to prepare for another man should something happen here, which of course we're hoping does not.
Yes, true.
I have no thoughts.
Me personally, I don't care who I'm going to have in front. June 14, I'm going to break his job in the first minute, rather if it's Arman or Justin.
And just one more for Alex Pereira. Alex, just tell us your preparation for heavyweight, and do you see yourself ever going back to light heavyweight? Because you're hearing Carlos Alberg calling you out. Hamzat Chimaev says if he wins tomorrow, he wants to move up. Like, do you ever see yourself dropping back down, or are you enjoying this experience too much?
Alex. Você falou agora, você está como peso pesado, mas assim, existe uma possibilidade de você voltar a ser um peso meio pesado de novo por conta do fato de que Carlos Uber já falou teu nome, o pessoal chama teu nome, sempre o pessoal quer lutar com você, existe a possibilidade de você voltar a ser um meio pesado?
Bom, tô aqui para lutar, tenho um novo contrato com o UFC, Dana White está aí, o que ele quiser fazer, eu tô dentro.
I'm here to fight, you know, Dana White is the president of the UFC, whatever he wants to do, I'm in.
It's a question for Josh Hockett. Josh, the last fight out, you had a fantastic performance against Curtis Blades. You went to war for 3 rounds. Are you able to fight Derek Lewis in the same way, or the fact he hit so hard means you have to play it a bit more cautious?
Derek Lewis ain't tight. That's why he pussied out and took a dive in his last fight. I'm gonna retire him, then he's gonna sell old man ass wipes, because his knees look like a broke toy. And on June 14th, I'm gonna beat the shit out of the black Pillsbury Doughboy. Am I right, New Jersey?
Bitch. Derek, just your thoughts on what Josh said there. He says he's gonna retire you.
Say what one more goddamn time. I ain't understand nothing he said. Tell him you guys to take that mic away from his mouth a little bit. I know it's black.